Hey, I asked you a few minutes ago on Facebook if anybody had any questions for me, and I thought I'd try a little video answering them kind of sort of live, and then I'm going to post it. So I'll get on with it. Let's see. Y'all asked some great questions. The first one is from Emily. What's something that you wish you had the recipe for but haven't found it yet? Actually, you have to be from Huntsville, Alabama, from the old days to know this. There was a place here called the Old Mill Bakery. I think it's still here in one form or another, but it's not the same. But they had this cake. It was called like the mountain cake or something. It had cherries, chocolate cake, some kind of meringue, and almonds and coconut, just all kinds of stuff. My mother and I loved it. We ordered it for every birthday, every occasion, and it no longer exists, and I've tried to duplicate it. I don't even know exactly what it's called. I think it was a mountain cake, but I'd really love to have that recipe if anybody has it. Let's see. What are your kitchen staples? This is from Julie McNally. My kitchen staples are self-rising flour, white sugar, eggs, milk, cocoa powder, vanilla. Those are like the things that I always have to have. And when I go shopping for them, I don't just buy a 5-pound sack of flour. I'll buy like 20 pounds of flour or at least 10 pounds of sugar because I hate running out of those things. And I keep extra bags in the freezer so I don't have to worry about them ever. You know, flour can actually go rancid after a while. I don't have to worry about that because I always have some in my deep freezer. So let's see. Tanya Kiefer said, my mom used to make poke. Would you happen to have a recipe for it? Are you talking about poke salad? Because if that's what you're talking about, yeah, I do have a recipe. My grandmother and I used to make that. It was so funny because it was when I was living with Grandmama and she had me stop one day. It was shortly after my grandfather passed away. And we were driving home and she said, oh, stop, stop. And she got out and was picking these weeds off the side of the road. And I said, Grandma, what are you doing? She said, we're going to make us some poke salad. So we went home and she made it for me and it was delicious. So let me know if that's what you're talking about. Let's see, how many minutes are we on this? I'm trying not to make this too long so it'll upload to Facebook. I'll probably stop after another question or two and then I'll do another video. What recipes are best for involving a 2-and-a-half-year-old in the process? This is asked by Alicia Marie. That is one of my favorite questions because I'm really big on getting your kids in the kitchen with you. My first recipe I ever made with my mother was peach crisp. I was 3 years old. She put a can of peaches in a baking dish and she mixed up the flour and the brown sugar and stuff and she let me sprinkle it over it. And I did that every time, and then people, every time we made it, and they would brag about how good Christy's peach crisp was, and I would just puff up like a peacock. So that one's, of course, is a personal favorite of mine. But anything, you know, if you've got a 2-and-a-half-year-old, you give them anything they can do. Let them stir the bowl a time or two, and they're going to feel like it's theirs. It takes so little for a kid to own a dish. Another thing I used to do when my kids were really little is I'd make cakes, little cakes, and ice them and give them M&Ms and sprinkles and things, and they would make little faces on the cake with the M&Ms and stuff, you know, and decorate it, and they're just proud as they can be. And that really means a lot, getting your kids in the kitchen with you. It makes them feel so good about themselves. They feel like they're a big help, and it builds their confidence. And that is just the sweetest question. When Brady was he was 6 months old his first Christmas, and I could not wait to bake with him. And I had Ricky, he couldn't even sit up all the way by himself. I had my husband prop him up on the kitchen counter, and he was holding him up, and I have a picture of us I was baking cookies, and I would like put the cookie cutter down and press Brady's hand on it, you know, and he'd just laugh. He had no idea what he was doing, but I had him baking with me at 6 months old. So just to make sure this doesn't get too long, I'm going to go ahead and upload this one to Facebook, and then I'm going to do another one, and I'll start with Joanne Croy's recipe. I'm really bad at pronouncing names, so I hope I'm getting these. Her question. This is the first time I'm doing this. Can you tell I'm a little scattered? But that's just kind of how I naturally am. Anyway, I'm going to upload this and fix and start on video number 2. Thank you.